Hey everybody, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. In today's video, we are going to be counting down the top 10 best Pokemon cards that you are going to want to find inside of your Celebrations booster pack. And you guys know me, I'm very objective when I come to figuring out what are the best Pokemon cards from a set. I grade them on a very specific scale. So for Celebrations, there aren't actually that many cards. 70 cards around if you count the main set cards, subset cards, and promotional cards that you can find inside of some very specific products. So I graded every single card on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of their art, their value, their desirability, as well as their rarity. And you can see my whole entire spreadsheet down in the description. Honestly, this is going to be a very subjective list because these are going to be categories that people are going to grade a little bit differently. So your top 10 list might be a little bit different from mine, but I think this will give you guys a good understanding of some of the most desirable cards from Celebrations and where you can find them exactly. So starting off the list, at number 10, we have the Blastoise inside of the subset. This is one of those cards that you can pull from your Celebrations booster pack, an iconic card that was honestly never reprinted. We have Charizard, which has been reprinted so many times. Blastoise always living in the shadow of Charizard, but not this time because we actually get a reprint of Blastoise, a really iconic artwork, a pretty desirable card, and I think one of the most high value cards from Celebrations. You're going to be very happy to pull yourself a Blastoise inside of your Celebrations booster pack. Next up on the number 9th place spot on the list, and I think this one's going to be a little bit of a controversial spot, is going to be Greninja Star. Easily one of the most desirable card from Celebrations. You can find yourself a Greninja Star card inside of a Celebrations Elite Trainer box or a Celebrations Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. A really cool card, very desirable, everyone loves Star cards. They are some of the most expensive Pokemon cards in the whole entire history of the whole entire trading card game. However, the big issue with Greninja Star is that there's a lot of it out there. It's going to be a pretty abundant card considering that there's one copy of Greninja Star inside of every single Celebrations Elite Trainer box. So it's going to be an abundant card. It's going to be an easier to collect card. I think every single collector is probably going to want to have at least one copy of this card inside of their collection, but it's going to be affordable, which is okay for me. I think this is a card that I think most people are going to want to be on the affordable end for the next couple of years. Who knows how expensive this card is going to be down the line, but right now I think the value is going to struggle a little bit because it's not going to be that rare. Next up on the list, we have Shining Magikarp, barely beating out Greninja Star with a total score of 32, one of the most desirable card, and beating out Greninja Star mainly because it's going to be a little bit more rare and a little bit more valuable because this is a card that I think a lot of people are going to want. Shining Magikarp is very expensive if you look at the vintage copies of it, and a lot of people want this card inside of their collection. They just can't get it because of how expensive the older versions of this card are right now. I mean, a cheap copy of Shining Magikarp is going to cost $200, $300 right now. This card, after Celebration is fully released, is probably going to be on the more affordable end. Still a very desirable card. I mean, it's a gold Magikarp. A lot of people like it, and it's going to be interesting to see where this one ends up. I think it's going to be a desirable card, an expensive one from Celebration, so definitely be on the lookout for Shining Magikarp inside of your booster packs. In the 7th place spot on the list, we have Birthday Pikachu. I mean, everyone is going to want this card from their booster packs. I can't wait to pull this card from my booster packs. I can't wait to pull 10, 20, 30 copies of this card for my booster packs because Birthday Pikachu is just one of those cards that's really easy to give out. I give this card to nieces, nephews, friends and families for their birthdays who are a fan of Pokemon. It's just a really easy card to give around, and older copies of Birthday Pikachus are very expensive right now. Even a damaged copy of Birthday Pikachu, a vintage one, is going for $100, $200. So it's going to be a really tricky card if you can find a vintage copy of it, and I definitely think it deserves a reprint. So I'm really happy to see Birthday Pikachu around. It's going to be a pretty desirable card, really cool artwork, and it's going to be a nice card to see inside of your booster packs. Next up on the list, we have the only non-Pokemon on the list, and that is the gold Pokeball inside of the Celebrations premium collection, the ultra premium collection. A really tricky card because I think it's going to be highly desirable, but at the same time, it's mainly because of how rare it is. The ultra premium collection is by far the most challenging sealed product of Celebrations to pick up right now. So many people are looking for it and it's challenging to find. There just aren't that many of these ultra premium collections out there, and we know there's quite a few desirable cards inside of it. And actually, the Pokeball is one of the least desirable ones. There's a lot of other ones. The rarity scale on this one is really off the chart. I think it's still going to be a pretty desirable card just because it's a gold Pokeball. I think it's going to be a really fun display piece. It's going to be interesting to see where this one falls. It might not be as desirable as I anticipate, but it's going to be interesting to see. So this is the only non-Pokemon on the list, and I think it's a fitting spot to have it right here. It actually ties with Birthday Pikachu, but I put it in front of Birthday Pikachu just because I know Birthday Pikachu is going to be an abundant card. I think I can easily pick up 10-20 copies of Birthday Pikachu over the next couple of months just from pack opening. But this gold Pokeball, I might only have 1 or 2 inside of my collection, and I think on release it's going to be going for $40, $50, and I don't think it's going to be really dropping in prices just because there's so few ultra premium collections out there. Each ultra premium collection is going for over $300. How many copies of this card can you really get? 2 or 3? How many ultra premium collections are people holding on to? Not that many. Most people have 1 pre-order of ultra premium collection, and you better hope that your copy of this gold Pokeball is perfect because you're probably not going to get another one. Next up on the list, we have Charizard, base Charizard from the Celebration subset. It's going to be very holographic, a lot of glitter, and I think easily one of the most desirable cards from Celebrations. You're going to be ecstatic if you can pull yourself a Charizard card from one of your Celebrations booster pack. I'm not a Charizard fan, but I would be jumping for joy if I can pull this card from my booster pack just because everyone loves Charizard. Charizard is always a desirable card to have, but overall, I think it's going to suffer a little bit on the value side. I think a lot of people are suffering from Charizard fatigue. There's just so many Charizard cards out there, and even for base Charizard, we've had so many different reprints of base Charizard. There's a bajillion copies of them from XY Evolutions. So this is one that I'm going to be definitely cheering for, and I think I'm going to be very happy to find inside of my booster packs. But I actually prefer seeing some of the other cards. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing more Birthday Pikachu, or even cards like Shining Magikarp from my booster packs rather than seeing a bunch of Charizard. I think it's still a very cool card and one that you're definitely going to be happy to pull from your booster packs. However, in the 4th place spot on the list, we have the other gold card, which is the Pikachu V gold card. Very, very glossy. Like, this card is gold to the max. I put it a little bit higher than the Pokeball because I think of the 2 cards, which would you rather have inside of your collection? The Pokeball or the Pikachu if you could only get one? And it's probably going to be the Pikachu just because the Pokemon is probably going to beat out the actual item itself. So I think on the scale of value, while the rarity of both the Pokeball and the Pikachu is pretty much the same, you're going to have a more challenging time finding people that are going to be selling the Pikachu card. That's just my personal opinion, but I do think most people are going to want to find a gem mint version of the gold Pikachu, and that's going to be challenging to have. Pokemon, when it comes to print runs for the English side, a lot of the quality on these cards are not perfect. You might have some trouble finding a gem mint copies of one of these inside of your ultra premium collection. I'll have to crack open an ultra premium collection box, which is where you'll find this gold Pikachu inside, open to really understand it. But I think maybe 1 in 10 ultra premium collection is going to come with a gem mint Pikachu card. So it's going to be a hard chase card to have, and that's why it's rated so highly on this list. I don't know if there's going to be a ton of people that want this card. It's a cool artwork, and it's going to be interesting to see where it lands long term. It's definitely a premium card. On the open market, I think this card could easily go for $60 to $80 on the secondary market. So it's a high value, high rarity, high desirable card, and that's why it's really deserving of the 4th place spot in the whole entire Celebrations list. Making it onto the podium in 3rd place, we have the final Pikachu card on the list, and this one's going to be a little bit challenging to really rate because we have the Pikachu metal card inside of the Ultra Premium collection. There are a lot of cards from the Ultra Premium collection inside of this list just because of how desirable these cards are, how rare these cards are, and just how valuable these cards are. This one's gonna be interesting to see because it's not made of cardboard. It's not made like the other card, it's made of metal, which is gonna be very interesting to see because there are actually a lot of other proxy metal Pokemon cards out there. If you browse the market, you probably see plenty of people selling fake Pokemon cards or metallic versions of Pokemon cards. So this one is really capturing that market of people that want metal versions of these cards. I don't know if this card is going to be truly desirable long term. It's going to be interesting to see. Perhaps it's going to catch like fire and everyone's going to want a copy of it. I don't know yet. It's cool design. Everyone knows the iconic base Pikachu artwork, but it's metal. I just don't know. Is PSA going to grade this card? Is it gradable? Is this card going to be one that you want to display, or people are going to be standoffish on it because it's literally not like any other Pokemon card we've seen? This is the first of its kind. I think the Pokemon Company is experimenting with it. I'm going to get a couple of copies of this card inside of my collection, but I just don't know how it'll do long term. This is uncharted territory for the Pokemon Company. So it's gonna be interesting to see where this card lands, but overall, I do think it's gonna land right on the 3rd place spot on this list. In the 2nd place spot on this list, we have the best pull you can find inside of your Celebrations booster pack, and that is going to be the Umbreon Star card. Umbreon Star, incredibly desirable, very valuable, and incredibly rare. Most people who pull an Umbreon Star card are not going to want to sell it. It's such a cool card. You're going to want one inside of your collection. It's easily going to be the most expensive card inside of the Celebration set. Umbreon Star has never been reprinted, and it's such an expensive card. The vintage version of Umbreon Star are going for thousands of dollars. So this card is going to be expensive. Of all the Celebrations cards, this is the one that you are going to be the most elated to find inside of your booster pack. Easily the most desirable chase card from Celebrations, topping off even above the base Charizard. If you are to pull a card from Celebrations, definitely be on the lookout for Umbreon Star. This is going to be a card that you want to be sleeving up, double sleeving, top loading right away, and hopefully you have yourself a gem mint copy of this card. Such a cool card. Definitely by far the most desirable card for me inside of my Celebration booster pack. In the 1st place spot on the list, we have a very divisive card, a very controversial card, and that is going to be the base Charizard in its metal form, which is only available inside of the Ultra Premium collection. Every single exclusive Ultra Premium collection card is inside of this whole entire list. Very interesting. There's 4 cards inside of the Ultra Premium collection that are exclusive to it. They're all on this list just because of how rare the Ultra Premium collection is, how desirable it is, and I think this one's gonna be a really interesting one. Of all the cards from Celebration, I think the one that is gonna be the hardest to forget, the one that most people are gonna want long term, is going to be the metal Charizard card. But that's going to be a bit of a controversial pick because, like I said, I don't know if that's really going to be a trend that's going to catch on long term. Is the Pokemon Company going to continue to make more metal card? Is this going to be a one-off thing? And are people going to truly, really be foaming at the mouth to collect this card long term? I just don't know. There's just a lot of different risk involved, right? If this card is a card that PSA, CGC, and BGS are going to consider to be a legitimate card and a card that they are willing to grade, then I think it's going to catch on fire. I think people are going to be trying so hard to get mint copies of this card. And perhaps it's a super easy card to get mint because it's not actually made of cardboard. If it's made from metal, then every single copy of this card should be pretty much exactly the same. You're not going to have those little imperfections that you see with cardboard. It's just much harder to scratch these cards inside of their cardboard, inside of their plastic boxes. So interestingly, I think this is going to be the most desirable card from the whole entire Celebration set. So definitely be on the lookout for it. I'm going to be watching this card like a hawk over the next 6 to 12 months just to see how prices look on it. I just don't know. Is it an actual Pokemon card or is it not? We just don't know yet because metal cards are something that's completely new to the hobby. I think it's gonna be interesting to see where it lands. So that's gonna be my top 10 list for the most desirable cards from Celebrations. Quite a few cards are product exclusive, but there are also a bunch of cards that you can pull inside of your booster packs. If you want to see the whole entire list for every single card that I rated on my scale from Celebrations, the link is going to be down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.